Welcome back to another episode of Red Hawk Media. Today we're taking a look at retouching this photo, and we're working off some of the principles that we worked off of the earlier episode, where we were taking Jessica Alba and we were changing hair color and changing skin color and just making general adjustments like that. We are also applying digital makeup. Now, this would be kind of the preliminary steps that you would take to prep a picture for something like that. So we've got our before and after situation. Obviously, we've got some red eye going on here. You can tell between the two pictures that we've got some aging with some lines in the forehead, some crow's feet, a little bit of yellowing on the teeth, and just your normal skin tone, I guess, for somebody of this age. So we're going to retouch the photo. My caution, retouching photos is kind of like a slippery slope. Once you get going, you can get hypercritical, and you can just keep going and going and going, and before long the person doesn't really resemble who they were in the first place. So I guess my caution is that use this ethically and think about how much is enough and how much is too much, where you're really completely remaking somebody to the point where they're a new person. So that's my little soapbox spiel. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at some of the skills here to make you dangerous and such things. We're going to start off with a pretty easy one here, which I think you'll like because it does most of the heavy lifting for you. We're going to go over to the healing tool here, and we've got a couple different options here. Okay, we've got the spot healing brush, we've got the healing brush tool. The spot healing brush is really good for like just single areas that are problematic. So if we have any kind of blemishes, we can just click over them with this, and it pretty much removes the blemish and blends it in with the surrounding areas. Again, if you're removing spots like this, you have to be really careful. There are like signature spots on people that are kind of like beauty marks, and you remove those and it kind of steals away their identity. So be careful as you are going through here and doing this. Now, let you get the idea here. Cleans up already, evens out the skin a little bit there. Now, the healing brush tool is a little bit different animal. It's pretty similar to the clone stamp in the way that it works. For instance, let's say that we wanted to get her forehead with less of a wrinkle, appearance here. So I'm going to click in between the wrinkles where there's good skin here, and it's the same skin tone as the wrinkles themselves. And then I'm going to paint along here like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this again up above, retarget. I'm holding Alt to target the area, and then I'm just dragging along. So now I'm going to do this underneath, hold Alt, target an area, let go, and now I'm going to go ahead and clean up that area. Now you got to be careful because you see if you get really up close here, you can see some streaking going on across here. So you have to be careful with how much of this you use. Now you can see there are some general wrinkles that are going on here between the eyes. You can target in between those again. And this one's going to be a little bit more tricky because I'll be able to use parts of different areas. Let's go in between here, get the rest of that. Go in between this one, get that, and then off to the side of this. There we go. And let's come over here. And there we go. And you can see it cleans up that area and revitalizes the skin. You can do the same thing for the crow's feet on the side. This might be a bit much because of the shading that's around it. You can try it, experiment, see what the limitations of the brush tool are. You can grab some of these in here. Got to be really careful that you're getting same skin tone colors, though, that you're copying to. Around the eye, that gets a little trickier with the shading. Okay, we've got, looks like a scar here. I can grab below the scar and then go over the top of that, and we clean that up. Now, here you can see that the skin has got a little texture and see that it's a little rougher. We can take our blur tool which is this raindrop looking thing. We can come over and with a bigger brush size, we can come in here and just do a quick pass over that area and it smooths it right out. Now, I've got the blur tool at 50% so that it doesn't completely blur it out because this is a well-taken photo and things are in focus the way that they should be. So I don't want to go and blur the whole thing out of proportion. But what I just did here is I smoothed out the cheeks so that they look like smooth skin here. I can do the same up on the forehead here. And kind of just very little touch up the area there. And you can see that it smooths that out. If I zoom back out here, here's our retouch. Now, I would probably want to fix skin coloring here. We could go back to that Jessica Alba episode, and I could apply a new layer over the top that's really slight that would kind of fill this in, even out the skin pigmentation a little bit. We can also go in and we could reduce some of the reddening in the skin with that layer adjustment like that. Here's the next thing while we're at it. We talked about, well, let's start with the eyes here. And I usually don't use the red eye adjustment on here, but we'll give it a go. It's underneath the healing tools. You can go into the red eye tool itself. Let's go ahead and get zoomed in here. Okay, and with the red eye tool, I can target the red eye like that, right in the middle. And again, go in. Now, here's the danger. See what it did to the eyelid? Let's go back here. Let's try that again. It's still grabbing the eyelid. So this one I would have to manually come in here and I would create an adjustment layer. Again, back to the previous tutorial. Create a new layer. Okay, and then come in here with the brush tool. Let's go ahead and, whoa, that's really ridiculously big. Using the bracket to get that down smaller. Let's go ahead and grab a black color. Okay, and go down. Oops, I accidentally deleted my layer there. Go down and we're going to fill in. Now I'm on the new layer above the background here. And I'm going to go ahead and paint in here like this. Just covering up the red. And now I'm going to go over to that layer. I'm going to adjust the blend mode of it. We can try soft light. Okay. That's not going to give me the maybe overlay. Gives me a little bit more of what I'm looking for. Okay. And then I would have to mess with the opacity as well to bring that down. And you can see there's still a little red in there. So I could try painting over that a little bit more. Okay, to adjust that out as much as possible. The trick is we want to keep the reflections or the glare in the eye here. Otherwise it starts to look really fakey. Okay, now I suppose I could try the red eye to see what it's going to do with this. Let me get to the actual layer that has the red on it. And it's still doing all that up there. That's unfortunate. Let me try doing this with the target. Just do this little area here. And that didn't do jack. Again, I'm on the wrong layer. Ah, wonderful. Got two layers and I'm already confused. And go, it didn't do a whole lot of anything, did it? Eh, somewhat cleaned up. I don't like it. I'd have to go in and brush in a little bit more to make the adjustments here to get exactly what I was looking for. Okay, something to work on here, and this is the tedium of actually doing adjustments or retouching photos like this. You can tell from the other one that they also whiten the eyes. Okay, so same thing, I can go in, adjust those layers, whiten them up a little bit more, and they whiten teeth. So I would create a new layer to paint over the teeth, and then whiten that up. Now, a trick with whitening teeth is a little goes a long ways. Same thing with eyes. Otherwise, you get this almost like glowing effect. And you can see on the picture over here that these eyes are almost unnaturally kind of glowing white. Okay? So, a few options here for retouching. Feel free to change up anything else you want. If you get done with the skin retouching, go ahead and try your hand at the digital makeup. See if you can apply some makeup in here or clean up her makeup a little bit. You know, add a little makeup to her lips to balance out the effect on that. And just have a good time with this, experimenting with some of the different tools that you can use for photo retouching. This has been another episode of Red Hawk Media. Thanks for joining us. Bye.